Welcome to Bio Daily. This is your anchor, Noah Crafts. For tonight's special, we'll be diving into the topic of the Zika virus. Zika is a mosquito-borne virus that was first discovered in 1947 in the Zika forest of Uganda. In the years later, waves of outbreaks and panic have spread. The virus has a tendency to spread explosively, and the disease became a public health emergency of international concern when it was found to have links to congenital brain defects and abnormalities. Among these is fetal microcephaly.
Fetal microcephaly is a birth defect that can cause a baby's head to be smaller than it should be for its size and age. The defect can cause many issues including seizures, intellectual disabilities, and further problems. But the most common cause for concern is impaired brain development. Fetal microcephaly can range from mild to severe, but is incurable and a lifelong condition.
A study conducted by researchers at the State Key Laboratory of Molecular Developmental Biology and at the Chinese Academy of Sciences aimed to compare ancestral and contemporary strains of Zika and their relation to microcephaly. They infected neonatal mice with their ancestral strain, CAM 2010, and 3 contemporary strains, MTQ 2015, VEN 2016, and SAM 2016, and found the latter caused 100% mortality. We can tell by this graph that until about day 5 post-infection, all mice remained alive. However, after this point, mortality rates began to diverge rapidly, with all MTQ mice dying by day 15 and SAM and VEN by day 25. Meanwhile, CAM 2010 mice did not see a drop in percent survival until after day 15, and by day 25 had stagnated at 83% survival. These results clearly show that the contemporary strains of Zika are more neurovirulent in mice than their ancestral strain CAM 2010. Then, the researchers compared CAM 2010 and VEN 2016 to determine if mortality was associated with microcephaly. They confirmed the association, finding that VEN 2016 caused severe microcephalic manifestations, including thinning of the cortex and neuron loss. Determined to find the underlying genetic cause of this more serious strain of Zika, the research team created 7 different mutant viruses using the ancestral strain as a base, each with a single amino acid substitution. Of the 7, S139N exhibited a higher degree of virulence as well as a grave microcephalic symptoms and prolific replication.
But there are still pieces missing in the Zika puzzle. Researchers have remained skeptical and want to see further research to fill in the blanks. 3 major concerns arise about Yuan and colleagues' findings. Primarily, they do not know why the mutation increases virulence. They suspect that the mutation causes changes in the maturation of the virion, but are unsure how this affects its virulence. Translation of the results in rats to an effect in humans is another concern. The authors did go on to study the effects of the mutated virus in human tissue, finding similar results. However, other researchers have argued that the direct injection into the brain does not simulate infection in nature. A final concern is some strains in the study and later in Thailand cause microcephaly. Since microcephaly did not originate in the ancestral strain, this means that the mutation may not be the only cause for the increased virulence.
Given the significant differences between the ancestral and contemporary strains, it is obvious that evolution has occurred. How can this be? Mutations arise during genetic replication. Through a single mutation, microcephaly could arise as a symptom of Zika. The potential for virulence to increase to such a degree with only a single mutation is concerning. We do not know whether the mutation gives Zika a survival advantage and will remain, or if instead, the mutation will disappear in the future. Since new strains of the mutation are appearing, the mutation may not go away. We can only face the fact that due to mutation and potentially other factors, Zika now causes microcephaly.
What does this mean for the future? Zika outbreaks will continue to occur, but further research may help us to understand its sudden, virulent change and prevent future outbreaks or changes. All in all, Zika has become a public health danger. To combat this international issue, people all over the world must come together to combat the spread of this dangerous virus. Thank you for tuning in to our broadcast. Have a good night.